Hi guys, cinematic recap here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain an American science fiction and fantasy movie, called Monster Hunter. The film begins in the New World, where humans coexist with a wide variety of large and savage monsters. The inhabitants of New World are called hunters. They are warriors trained to hunt and kill these powerful creatures. On a stormy night, the hunters are sailing through the desert towards the Sky Tower. Unbeknownst to them, their ship is attacked by the Diablos, a horned subterranean monster. The attack causes several hunters to die. In addition, a hunter falls from the ship, causing him to be abandoned by the group. Back on Earth, a United States Army Ranger, Captain Natalie Artemis, and her United Nations security team are searching for a team of soldiers missing in the desert. They track down the trail of the missing team, but the trail just disappeared halfway through. Suddenly, the team sees a strange storm heading towards them. They decide to escape from the storm, but their efforts are in vain as the storm eventually pulls them into a portal to the New World. Shortly after, they come to their senses and realize that the storm has miraculously disappeared. From afar, they see the Sky Tower shrouded in a black storm. Luckily, their vehicles were not badly damaged and are still usable. However, their communication tools cannot be used. After that, one of them checks around and finds something astonishing. They finally find the remains of the missing soldiers, including their vehicles. The soldiers were scorched by something strange and there are no traces of enemy attacks around them. After seeing the accident, they have no idea what had attacked the soldiers. They continue their journey to find out about the New World. Meanwhile, a previously stranded hunter observes the troops from afar. The group stops right in front of the giant bones which take them by surprise. Afterwards, a hunter fires an arrow to warn them of a danger, but he gets shot back instead because they think that he wants to attack them. After a while, Natalie sees the Diablos moving towards them. The group immediately runs away while shooting the monster. The Diablos ends up destroying one of their vehicles as the soldiers continue to shoot it. Unfortunately, the monster is immune to bullets and grenades. At one point, a soldier is stabbed by Diablo's horn. Therefore, he throws a grenade at Diablos so the others can escape to the nearby rocks. In the meantime, the hunter tries to help them by shooting a bomb arrow at Diablos. The group finally enters a cave and manages to escape from the monster. That night, Natalie tries to calm her men down. However, they are suddenly attacked by a pack of spider-like monsters, called Nerscyllus. Unluckily, Natalie is injected with a paralyzing venom by one of the spider monsters behind her. Because of it, she remains unconscious while the others are trying to save her. Meanwhile, more and more Nerscyllus come and swarm them immediately. They decide to leave Natalie's body out of urgency. After a while, Natalie wakes up in a Nerscyllus lair and finds her team either dead or infected with Nerscyllus spawn. Then she takes some of her equipment that might still be useful for her escape. She continues her escape by igniting the flare and discovers one of his men still alive. When they are almost at the exit, a Nerscyllus suddenly appears from behind them. The infected soldier immediately tells Natalie to run away so that he becomes the bait. She eventually manages to escape from the lair by setting the pursuing monsters on fire. Above ground, Natalie initially checks her body to make sure it is not infected by a Nerscyllus. She also learns that the Nerscyllus are afraid of the sunlight. Later, she treats the wound on her leg by sprinkling gunpowder and setting it on fire before she limps up the hill. Arriving at the top of the hill, she throws a stone into the desert. Sure enough, the Diablos will appear whenever there is movement over the desert. She then looks for another way on the hill and eventually sees a large pile of shipwrecks. She walks among the wrecks in search of water. Not long after, she runs into the hunter and they fight each other. At first, the hunter is wounded in the chest, but in the end he manages to immobilize Natalie, ties her up and immediately takes her to a hiding place because it is almost night and the Nerscyllus are about to come out of their lair. Arriving there, the hunter takes dewdrops to drink and takes moss to eat. He also makes potions to treat his wounds. The next morning, he monitors the Sky Tower which is still shrouded in a black storm. He also observes the Diablos who is on guard in the desert all the time. When he returns to his place, he learns that Natalie has run away from the place. Unexpectedly, Natalie knocks him unconscious and immediately ties him up. The angry hunter gets up and the two fight again, until the hunter almost falls into Nerscyllus' lair. Feeling sorry for him, Natalie immediately helps the hunter and they grudgingly agree to cooperate. Soon, Natalie learns that the portals are created by the Sky Tower which is located across the desert. She must reach the tower to return to the earth. The hunter also reveals they will need to kill the Diablos in order to cross the desert safely. He has an idea to immobilize Diablos by using Nerscyllus venom. At night, Natalie succeeds to lure Nerskala into the trap which they have set earlier. After that, the hunter splits Nerskala's head and manages to retrieve its stinging needle. They immediately run to the hideout while the rest of Nersila's chase after them. The following morning, the hunter takes the venom and smears it on his arrows. They prepare some equipment to trick Diablos. At the same time, Natalie learns how to fight using the hunter's unique dual-bladed weapons. She is surprised because the blades can emit fire when put together. Soon, they start the attack by throwing a barrel into the desert and it succeeds in luring Diablos out. They immediately run towards Natalie's vehicle, while the hunter takes the initiative to become bait. He finally fires one of Diablos's eyes using his poison arrow. On the other hand, Natalie shoots the Diablos using the Gatling gun as it starts to wobble from the venom. However, the monster is still able to hit the vehicle. At the right moment, the hunter stabs Diablos in the head, but unfortunately he has to be thrown quite far and passes out. Seeing this, Natalie tries to jump on its head to deal the final blow, permanently killing it. She then approaches the hunter but he is still unconscious. Therefore, Natalie obediently carries him across the desert by constructing a makeshift stretcher out of Diablo's skin. The next day, the hunter wakes up after he was treated using makeshift equipment. Afterwards, the pair reaches an oasis populated with tortoise-like creatures, called Apsaros. When Natalie wants to fetch water, a monster suddenly appears from the water and wants to attack her. Fortunately, the hunter slashes the monster to death. In the evening, a fire-breathing wyvern called Rathalos flies over them and burns the entire oasis, causing Apsaros to stampede. Just at the right moment, Natalie and the hunter are rescued by a group led by the Admiral. She uses her dual blade to dodge the swarm of Apsaros that is charging at them. After that, she thanks the Admiral, but he knocks her out instead. A few moments later, she wakes up on a ship. When she tries to escape, she is surprised by Palico, a cat who can cook food for them. Meanwhile, the hunter takes her to the Admiral. He explains that he originally tied up Natalie because a long time ago someone from another world came through the portal to wreak havoc in the new world. He also explains that the Sky Tower was built by the first civilization to travel between worlds and it has been guarded by Rathalos all this time. The Admiral and his crew plan to investigate the oddities that have occurred in the Sky Tower recently. After hearing his explanation, Natalie agrees to help kill the Rathalos so she also can return home. Later on a stormy night, they finally arrive at the gate of the Sky Tower. Besides that, the portal between worlds looks unstable. A few moments later, the Admiral detects the presence of Rathalos. They immediately start the battle with the monster, starting from Natalie who manages to tear Rathalos' wings with her dual blades. In the midst of the battle, a portal between worlds suddenly opens. When Rathalos spews fire, Natalie falls through the portal, returning to her world. She is rescued by the soldiers who are looking for her and she is taken into a helicopter. Strangely, the portal does not close in time, causing Rathalos emerges and begins wreaking havoc on Earth. All of human weapons are ineffective against the monster. In the meantime, Natalie is able to slow it down long enough by shooting a bomb into its mouth. When she is desperate, the hunter slips through the portal and delivers the fatal shot. Even though she has the chance to stay, Natalie decides to go back to the new world and remain with the hunters. The Admiral approaches her, just before the appearance of another flying monster, a black dragon known as Gormagala. He notes that as long as the portal remains open, there will always be the threat that monsters will pass through to Earth. Natalie concludes that finding a way to take down the Sky Tower is now their primary objective. In the end, they lure the monster back to the new world. In a mid-credits scene, Palico arrives to help them fight the Gormagala, while an ominous cloaked figure observes the battle from the top of the tower. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.